Assalamu alaikum, dear students. I'm sure you are fine. Today, let's talk about words. And the topic of today's lecture, I have set the same way, all about words. What are words actually, if I ask you this question? Well, words, of course, you know, I know, words are, of course, are ideas. They are made of alphabet, and they convey ideas. Some words are pictures, some words are functions. I mean to say, some words give us pictures as meanings, and some words give us, functions as meanings. And when these, pictures and functions, we put together, of course, we move towards complete ideas. If words are ideas, then these pictures and functions put together, I mean to say, combining these words and making a sentence, of course, we move towards complete ideas. What words are made of, actually? If I ask you, rather, let me put it this way, do you think word, is the smallest unit? Most of us, of course, call it abruptly, yes, word is the smallest, unit in any language. But I would say, of course, word is not the smallest, unit. There are some more units, which are smaller than, of course, words. If I give you, view of language chain, which we call as linguistic rank scale, this is something, I'll again and again refer to in my coming lectures. Linguistic rank scale means, moving from the smallest points towards, discourse writing. For example, starting from alphabet, let's say. We, combine alphabet and, we form, of course, let's say, words, okay? We combine words and then we make sentences. If we, go step by step, keeping in mind the linguistic rank scale, then the story starts this way, that alphabet, which we call generally, they are basically graphemes, the writing system. We combine these graphemes and we make morphemes. Now, morpheme is something which is the smallest unit of, let's say, English language. Now, if you ask me what is morpheme, I'll not tell you right now. Of course, later I'll explain you the meanings of morpheme. Combining morpheme means, of course, we get words, which we call as lexes also, and combining these lexes, we move towards phrases, and then when we combine phrases, of course, we produce clauses. And the combination of clauses, of course, results in sentence making, and then sentence, when you combine, of course, then you move towards paragraphing, and then, text and discourse, and, the story goes on. So this is all about linguistic rank scale. So word is, of course, not the smallest unit. I mean to say, look, if the word is, let's say, boys, the plural form of boy. Now, boys, of course, it's one word, but this is not the smallest unit. You know why? Boys in itself, we have two, features. One, the word boy. Second, it's plural marker, which is the inclusion of S with it. So, boy plus S. It means there are, excuse me, I said boy. I said word. Word is a combination, actually, of morphemes. So, it means if boy is one word and plural marker is something more, so these two are actually morphemes. We combine these morphemes and we make, of course, words. Let me give you, another sentence, and then, of course, we'll study, what are different morphemes, working, and how these morphemes, get together to make words. By the way, the study of the structure of words actually is called morphology. Now, this is from, like a word is composed of morphemes, and the study of morphemes is actually morphology. So, indirectly, we can say the study of the structure of words actually is called morphology. Now, the sentence which I want to, give you for analysis is, the plogs glopped blipply. Now, this is a sentence composed of three, or consisting of three, words. The plogs glopped blipply. Now, let me ask you some questions. How many are the plogs? Is it one or more than one? Of course, you will analyze it, that this plogs has got with itself a plural marker, which is S. So it cannot be just one, it means it's more than one. Okay, fine. Second one, what these plogs are doing, of course, they are, glopping. Now, are they glopping now, or they were doing it in the past or towards the future? Let's analyze the second word. Glop is in its past form. Y, G-L-O-R-P plus ed is a past marker, verb past marker. So this glop is not now, this is in the past. The third one is bliply. Now what is bliply? Bliply actually here is working as an adverb. Why adverb? Because there is an adverb marker with it, ly. It's not blip, it's what? It's bliply. Ly is an adverb, marker. So analyzing this in this sentence, we come to know that plogs is not one word. I mean to say, is not the smallest unit. It's composed of actually two morphemes. One as plog, and the second morpheme is the plural marker s. So these are two morphemes. Exactly the same way, glopped also is not the smallest unit in this sentence. It also consists of two morphemes. Number one, glop as a word, one morpheme, and second one, of course, is its past marker, ed. And also the same way, bliply is also composed of two morphemes. One is blip, and second, it's, adverb marker, ly, bliply. So in this sentence, we found 6 morphemes, 3 words and 6 morphemes. Now, these morphemes actually are the smallest units of language. And of course, keep in mind, these morphemes are also composed of graphemes, which are what? Alphabet you can call them, symbols you can call them, writing symbols you can call them, They are like the way in other languages, let's say in Urdu you have alif, bay, and in English, you have like ABC, these are graphemes. Now, from this we understand that morphemes, I used, 2 types of, words for them. One as word, second as, or you can say root word, and second as marker. Like when I gave you the example of boys, boy was a root word, and its plural marker was s. Now, if I ask you this question, out of these 2 morphemes, which morpheme can stand alone? Boy can stand alone, or s can stand alone? Of course, your answer is boy can stand alone. S is nothing. Unless and until it's put with boys, then of course it will convey meanings. Without boy, s will be taken as a grapheme, not as a morpheme. But when we break our word boys into 2, there it will be, of course, named as boy 1 morpheme, s second morpheme. Why? It was the part of boy as a plural marker. If I delete boy and keep only s as there, then s, of course, will, cannot qualify in its own self as morpheme. It will rather go down to its grapheme level. Okay, so boy can stand alone, s cannot stand alone. Exactly the same way the sentence, which we analyzed together, the plogs, glopped, bliply. Now, in this, there are 2 types of morphemes. We call it free morpheme and we call it bound morpheme. Now, free morphemes are, which can stand alone. You can say root words, all root words of English language, they can stand, of course, alone. They are free morphemes. Now, morphemes, which change, or help us changing our words into past, let's say, help us changing our words, let's say, into plural, help us changing our words, let's say, into adverb, like for plural you add s or es. For past, let's say you add ed. For adverb, let's say you add ly. Now this s or ed or ly, they cannot stand alone. When they cannot stand alone, we call them bound morphemes. Means they exist with the free morphemes to bring about certain changes. Otherwise, if the free morphemes, we delete, then their existence, of course, will be a question. So, what we are studying, actually, the structure of words. And I told you that words are composed of morphemes. And the study of the structure of words is called morphology. We have two types of morphemes, free morphemes and bound morphemes. Free morphemes are which can stand alone. Bound morphemes are which cannot stand alone. Example I gave you, boys. If you split boys into two morphemes, boy and s, boy is a free morpheme because it can stand alone. S is a bound morpheme, it cannot stand alone. Another important thing, free morphemes of course will give you, even if you break the word down into its smaller parts, smaller units, which actually we call morphemes, free morphemes still will be having meanings in them, whereas bound morphemes of course cannot convey meanings unless they are put with the free morphemes. So this is about the structure of words. One more example before I move ahead. Let's say child is one word and it has one morpheme in it. We can combine child and make its plural, for example, like children, for example, or let's say childish, for example. Now childish is composed of two morphemes. One is child and then ish, this is the second morpheme put together and the word is word composed of two morphemes. We can change the same word into three morphemes also. For example, childishly. Now in this sentence, in this word, now child is one morpheme, ish, which made the word childish, is the second morpheme, ly is the third morpheme. Now this, if I give you the analysis of this word childishly, or childishness, for example, is the same thing, child and then ish and then ness. Now these three morphemes, first one is the free morpheme and the other two are bound morphemes. If the example is childishness, child is a free morpheme, it can stand alone, it conveys, even if it stands alone, it conveys full-fledged meanings, but ish, when separated from the free morpheme, of course it cannot convey any meanings, and ness also, when separated from its free morpheme, does not convey any meanings. So words can be composed of one morpheme, two morphemes, three morphemes, and in English language, 6 is about it. I mean, we can have words composed of maximum 6 morphemes. I mean, I'm not saying that that's the finality. I mean, we cannot have words more than 6 morphemes. What I'm trying to say is, I mean, the way we say sentences should be of some controlled length, paragraphs should be of some controlled length, exactly the same way, words should also be of some controlled length. I mean, smaller words, are always desirable for the writers. The good friends are, of course, words which are smaller in size, which we say short and familiar, words. We are going to prefer these words over, words which are longer in size, Of course, they will be confusing their readers. So, words which are consisting of less number of morphemes, of course, will be, our choice. If I give you, as I said, like, the 6 morphemes is about it in English language, the word goes as disestablishmentarianism. Now, this word, disestablishmentarianism, if you analyze this, word, it has, 6 morphemes. Like the first one, this is one morpheme, establish is second morpheme, and meant, disestablishment, 3 morphemes. Then Aryan, disestablishmentarian, and last one is ism. In total are these 5. If you add one more as a prefix, let's say anti, so the word goes as anti, disestablishmentarianism. So a word can have 6 morphemes also, but make sure when you construct your words, make sure that comprehension of your reader, of course, will be a question. Therefore, words which are smaller in size, of course, should be everybody's choice. Now, the next item I would like to discuss with you about words is that how words are formed, actually. How words are, from one word, we can make so many words. Of course, there are 5 ways, we form words. Number 1, the word forms. When I say word forms, it means, let's say there's a noun, you can change noun into adjective, and then if there is a, let's say, adjective, you can change it into adverb, and there can be a verb also of the same word. So this is how, like, from one, word, we make, 2, 3, 4, words. This is called, changing the word form. Second one is portmanteau words. When I say portmanteau words, this is something very interesting in the sense that in portmanteau words, we derive words by combining portions of more than one words. Let's say Oxford and Cambridge. You can take one portion of Oxford, you can take one portion of Cambridge, and you can combine these and make a new word, and that will be called as a portmanteau word. Details, of course, I'll give you later on. The third method is prefixes. Prefixes means words which you can put at the start of words, and you can construct further words. And then exactly the same way there are suffixes. Suffixes means the same way group of alphabets you can put in the end of the words, and you can make more words. And the last one is compounding. Compounding means 2 words put together and making a new item. So these are 5 ways of like word formation. Let's discuss these one by one. First, of course, will be word forms. As I told you before, when I say word forms, please keep in mind in our upcoming lectures, of course, we'll be talking about parts of speech. Just to give you an idea, when I say parts of speech, of course, these are the same things like conjunctions and prepositions and articles and nouns and pronouns and blah, blah, blah. These are like, 8 different parts of speech. Out of these 8 parts of speech, 4 are picture words, which I just counted for you, like nouns and adjectives, verbs and adverbs. Now, these 4 picture words are actually major items in your sentence, which carry major meanings, and the remaining things, like, conjunctions and articles and prepositions and pronouns, they are not picture words actually, and they do not contain in themselves the major ideas actually. They contain in themselves, some minor ideas actually. Or you can say, these words facilitate the picture words, and help them, like, to convey full-fledged meanings. So when I say word formation, and inside the word formation, when I'm saying word forms, actually I mean word forms means these picture words, which are 4, nouns and adjectives, verbs and adverbs. Take a word, let's say decide. Now, to decide is a verb, and we can change this verb into its noun also, decision. Decision is a noun, and we can construct an adjective also, let's say decisive. And if someone is decisive, we can make its antonym also, let's say indecisive. Now, from one word, I created how many? 3 more. Decide as a verb, decision as a noun, decisive as an adjective, indecisive as another adjective. Of course, both these are antonyms. And you can add ly to these adjectives and can design adverbs also, like decisively or indecisively. But from one, how many? 5 words, we created. This is called, word forms and word formation. Okay, let's take a look at some more examples for our concept to be clear. On your screen, you can see the key word is beauty, second one is pay, and third one is receive. Let's change these 3 words into the further, forms. From beauty, you can change it into beautiful, then beautician, and beautify. Now, beautiful, of course, is an adjective, beautician is a noun, and beautify is, of course, its verb. And beauty is, again, in itself a noun. And second example, pay. Pay is a noun also, pay is a verb also. And then payment is again noun. Payable, this is an adjective. And then pay, again noun. to whom actually you pay. Next example is receive. From receive, you can make receptionist, you can make receipt, you can make receptive. Some more example. Describe. From describe, you can go into, let's say, of course, describe is a verb. You can change it into noun, description. Then descriptive and indescribable. Then comes sense. From sense, sensation. Insensitive, senseless. From explain to inexplicable or explanation. And then comes prophecy. You can change prophecy into prophet and prophesy. From famous, you can change it into fame, infamous, infamy. And from enthusiasm, you can change it into enthusiastically, enthusiast, and enthuse. Now here, enthuse, of course, is your verb from enthusiasm. So this is how we can make words from the forms. Don't forget this very fact that not all words can have the very four forms. I mean to say, some verbs may not have the nouns or may not have the adjectives. In the same way, some nouns may not have their verbs. So all the four forms are not possible for every word, but still many words are there which can have most number of forms. I mean the same noun into adjective, verb into of course adverbs. Let's now move towards our now portmanteau words, which I told you before. Portmanteau word, how we construct these. We combine portions of two or more than two words together, and we can make portmanteau. As I told you that if let's say two words are Oxford and Cambridge, you combine these two and you make a word which we call as Oxbridge. Now if you see, from Oxford we took ox, ox, and from Cambridge, let's say we took bridge. Ox and bridge we combined, and another word we designed, which is Oxbridge. In the same way, because is a very commonly used word. If you see, because is also a portmanteau word. It is, I mean, the portions have been taken from by and cause. From by we took, let's say, the b sound thing, and the cause factor together, and because word we formed. Another important, brunch. Brunch is also a portmanteau word. How it is formed, it's a combination of breakfast and lunch. Take one portion from breakfast, another portion from lunch, combine these two together, and the word is, brunch. Of course, brunch is a meal which you take between your breakfast and your, what you call, lunch thing. There are 5 meals, 3 are main course, 2 are like, light meals you can take. 5 o'clock tea and this brunch thing. So this is that stuff I'm talking about. Some more examples for your interest on the screen. You can take a look. Camcorder, which we very commonly use these days as we go buying gadgets. So camcorder is a combination of camera and recorder. Please do not forget, when I'm saying portmanteau words, unlike compounding, look, you can compare portmanteau words with compounding, compound words. In compound words, we combine full-fledged words actually to form new words. In portmanteau, we do not take full-fledged words to combine. Please do not forget this. Portions actually. If you combine, full-fledged words, then they will not be portmanteau, they will be compound words. So in portmanteau, portions, like the word I'm sharing with you is camcorder. So from camera we took cam, and from recorder we took corder only. So camcorder we combined, and another gadget you named. Another example, email. Very simple. Electronic and mail, we took portions from and combined and made another portmanteau as email. Same way, fortnight. This is something very interesting. Fortnight, which you call it 15 days, let's say 2 weeks in other words, Now fortnight is 40 and nights. These were 2 words actually. So fort we took from 40, and nights we combined these and portmanteau 40 nights. And then comes hassle. Hassle is a combination of haggle and tussle. Then intercom. Intercom is another interesting, portmanteau word. It's a combination of internal and communication. From internal, we took inter. From communication, we took com only, and intercom. Internal communication, actually, we combine these. Next comes internet. Now, internet is a combination of portions taken from international and network. International network, two portions we took, and we designed internet. Then comes motel, another interesting, portmanteau word. Motel is a combination of motor and hotel. From motor, you took mo, and from hotel, you took tel and motel. Another, word is there. Of course, roadside hotels are where you can spend your night, and, you can take the next morning breakfast, and then, you can again go back either to your home, or you can, go ahead. Next one is netiquette. Another, it's a very new word, netiquette. The way, we had a word etiquette, in some study of mannerism thing, etiquette, social manners and all. Now we have netiquette also, there should be some manners, to be observed once you are online, because online is also now a community considered these days, online community. So there, has to be some manners to follow once you are online. So netiquette actually is taken from internet and etiquette. Combine these, the portions, and portmanteau words are there. Then is sitcom. Ask people, what they enjoy watching on TV. They would say, of course, we enjoy sitcom. Now, sitcom is actually a combination of course, portions taken from situation and comedy. These were two words, situation and comedy. Portions you took, and you made another word, sitcom. By the way, these are also, these words which I'm discussing with you, portmanteau words, they can also be called as derivatives, because, we are deriving words from, already existing other units. We are combining. Okay, that's another thing, we are not combining full-fledged. We are simply borrowing, what you call the portions from, but of course you are deriving. So these words can also be called as derivatives. Another important, very, very important word, smog. Now, smog is the combination of smoke and fog, and then it's telegenic. Of course, you must have heard of the word photogenic, like he's a photogenic. Exactly the same way, telegenic. Now, telegenic is the combination of television and photogenic. Photogenic and television we combined, and telegenic word we created, which is the third one, Next comes telex. Telex means teleprinter and exchange. And last one, portmanteau word, workaholic. Workaholic means, of course, the one who is very, very hard working. Now, this word is from the combination of work and addict, that, you are addicted to work now. You rather get tired, when you sit idle. Once you are, busy doing things, you never feel as that, you are tired. So workaholic people are these. So it's the combination of work and addict. Now, we have seen so far two ways of word forming. Number one was changing word forms, and the second one is portmanteau, borrowing portions from words, combining them, and creating new words. Now, two more, which we call as prefixes and suffixes. Now, what are prefixes and suffixes? Look, prefix is not, of course, a word. You can say it's a group of alphabet. You can put this group of alphabet at the start of a word, and you can create a new one. Let's say possible is one word. Now, from this possible, you can add im plus possible. Now, since I am putting I am at the start of the word, it's called prefix. If I add something at the end of the word, it will be called as suffix. So please do not forget, prefix means I'm adding at the start of a word, and suffix, I'm adding at the end of a word, okay? Like when we make, let's say, adverbs from adjectives, right? So there we add ly. We do not add ly at the start of the word. We add ly at the end of the word. So they are called suffix, not prefix. So the word which, we are studying, possible, I added group of alphabet, I am, these two alphabet I added at the start of the word possible, and the word is impossible. Now this is another word, I would say rather opposite meanings, conveying from possible going to impossible. So this is how, we make new words by adding words at the start of the, you can say, root words. Word formation is there. Another example, let's say pseudo-intellectual. Now, pseudo actually is a group of alphabet which we call something which is false. So when I say pseudo-intellectual, it means, of course, someone who is not intellectual, or someone pretends to be intellectual but actually he is not. So pseudo I added at the start. If when I added at the start, it became, of course, prefix. Another example, let's say bishop is one word. If I add, let's say arch at the start, archbishop, so it will be, of course, another, new word. Let's say function, and I add one, prefix, malfunction, another new word. Of course, it will be opposite to what actually I talked about, function. Malfunctioning, of course, something, which is not functioning properly. Then is another prefix. Let's say the word is classical, and I say new classical. The new classical, of course, means, a mix of old traditions and modern, norms. So mix of these, new classical. Another one, you can say hypercritical. Hypercritical. Critical actually is a root word. Hyper is a prefix. Prefix plus root word critical. Another word, hypercritical. Active, you can take a word. It's a root word. You can add a prefix, let's say hyperactive. So it would be like a very new word. So this is how, that's the function of, prefixes. Prefixes, you can add at the start of, words, and you can create altogether new, words. It's a different issue whether you create synonyms or antonyms. I mean to say, the words which you are making, do they carry, again, the same meanings, or their meanings change? That's a different issue. We have seen that, some words, of course, they were giving after being recreated, they were giving quite opposite meanings. So that's no question, actually, that's no debate whether the meanings change or they do not change. Of course, when we are creating new words from, definitely meanings are going to change. Next comes, suffixes. I already explained you suffixes are group of alphabets, which we put at the end of words, and we create meanings, new words. Some examples, I have jotted down on your screen. You can take a look. Like the first word, accept. Accept is a root word, and able I, added at the end of the word, so it became as acceptable. Another word is notice, from notice to noticeable, and another example is from convert to convertible. Then another key word is short, and age is suffix, keyword plus age put together, shortage or storage. Then is wisdom, then is kingdom. So in both of these cases, DOM is the suffix and new words are there. Then capable, from capable to capability. So ITY, and in the words flexibility, again ITY will be, of course, a suffix, and new words are there. From wood, as a keyword, you can add one suffix, EN, it will be wooden, And bright, let's say, is a keyword, and root word, you can add EN with it, and it will become, of course, verb, brighten. Bright is an adjective, and you can add EN with it. Now, EN, since you are adding at the end of the word, it is called suffix, and it will be, of course, a verb. Then quickly, as I mentioned you before, that adverbs are also suffixes. I mean to say, we add ly in most of the adverbs. We add ly. Adding ly at the end of the word means creating, making, forming words by adding suffixes. So from quick, it will be quickly. So this is our fourth type of word formation. The last one, which I told you, is compounding. Unlike portmanteau words, compounding, we combine full-fledged words actually, and we create new words. For example, from news, you can add one more. News is one word. Stand is another word. You can put these two together. Newsstand. Let's say news clip. let's say newspaper. When I say newspaper, it's a combination of, you can say, compound of two words. One is news, second is a paper. Now these two are, I mean, of course, different words, but full-fledged words we are combining and creating, the third word, which we call as compound word. Here we cannot use, derivation, actually, derivatives. Portmanteau, of course, can be derivatives, but this is called compounding. These are compound words because we are combining full-fledged words. Some more example. From flower, you can add petal. Flower and petal put together, it's a compound word, flower petal, or flower pot, or flower bed, or flower bud also. Then from lady you can add bug with it, ladybug, lady finger, lady purse. Now, these were, of course, different words compounded together and created, of course, new words. Then comes eye color, eyebrow, and eyelid. From hand, you can add another, word, bag, handbag, shake, handshake, glove, hand glove. Please keep one more important thing in mind. When you combine, words, or in compounding, it does not matter that, we either hyphenate our words. Hyphenate means two words put together, but still divided by a small dash, hyphen. Okay? Or fused together. Put these two words together, no hyphen, no space in them, put together, fused into each other. Or third one is, just put together, not fused into each other, and no hyphen. Like in the case of hand glove. Hand glove, we cannot put, we cannot, fused into each other, like H-A-N-D, and right after, G-L-O-V-E. Of course, they will be written, of course, separately, but still will be called one word, because it's a compound word. This is how, we make, our words. So far, we have talked about morphemes and the word structures. Second, we talked about how words are formed. And five methods I shared with you. The first method is word forms. Second method is portmanteau words, combining the portions of words and creating new. Then prefixes and suffixes, and compounding. These are five, methods of combining or creating or forming words. Now, moving towards our third aspect of, all about words, that is figurative language. Words can give you literal meanings and figurative meanings both. Now, when I say literal meanings means, basic dictionary meanings. You have a word, you go to dictionary, you check its primary meanings, that we call as, literal meanings, literal semantics. Words can also be used for some special meanings. For example, let's say knife is one word, and I can describe the attributes of knife. Let's say sharp, the quality of sharp knife. But sometimes, you must have heard of it, we use sharp for tongue also, that he's a sharp tongue. Means he is very, very abrupt, harsh in his manners. He does not, think before he talks. He does not take care who he is talking with or talking to. So he's sharp tongue. Now, look here. It's understood that knife is sharp. You can see it. You can, give this, quality. You can assign this quality to something which you can see. And it's understood also that your knife is sharp. It can cut like anything. But tongue sharp. What actually we do? This is what actually we call special meanings, figurative use of language, or figurative language. What actually we do? We borrow qualities and attributes of certain things, and we use them for some special purposes. Like the sharpness of knife is, of course, a quality, is an attribute. We borrowed it and we used it for someone's tongue as being harsh, sharp, not taking care, inconsiderate. someone discourteous, impolite, very abrupt in his manner. So this is all like, literal and figurative. So be very careful when you are into readings, for example. You have to ask yourself whether the writer is using language literally or figuratively. He may have some special meanings, but when you look, you look up those words from the dictionary over there, like, you might be confused, in understanding that, look, the meanings over in the dictionary tells, let's say, ABC, and the writer over there in context means something else. So there, of course, he is trying to use things figuratively. Some more examples for the concept. Let's say, second example, tea is sweet and sweet baby. Look, tea can be sweet, understandable. Now, the quality, attributes of the tea being sweet, we use for the babies that, to express that someone is very cute, someone is so loving, right? Someone is so angelic. So the attributes of one thing when we borrow and use for something else is called, figurative language, special meanings we say. So sweet baby, baby is not sweet the way tea is sweet, or any like, any like sweets which we eat, of course not that case. One more example, yacht sailed gracefully. Now when we say sailing, of course, like, ocean comes in mind, rivers, come in mind. Yacht sailed gracefully, and he sailed through his exam. Now, yacht sailed, now sailing, of course, means, journey, fine, what you call rivers and, oceans and seas and all, okay? That's the register of, like, sail. But when we say he sailed through his exam, so same way, sailing through exam means, he very smoothly passed through his exams, so special meanings. One more, brush your hair and brush up your English. Now, brush your hair, very simple thing. Have a brush, have a comb, and brush your hair. Literal meanings. But when I say brush up your English, it does not mean, that English is something that you can brush it the way you brush your hair. Of course not. You brush your hair to get a good look, exactly the same way when you say brush up your English, exactly the same way, like maybe revise your English to give it a good look, or set it the way it should be. Next one, swollen jaw and swollen head. It's understood that, swollen jaw, some problem, in your oral cavity, some problem with your teeth, some problems with your gum, that you have a swollen jaw. But swollen head, it's something, we don't understand. Why we don't understand? Because here writer uses it figuratively. Swollen jaw means, that something which has increased in size, but swollen head actually means that someone who is arrogant. Why? Maybe that someone, got some victory, for example, and now he is a swollen head, he is, he's so showy that, he has won something. So swollen head actually is termed as, someone who is arrogant in his behavior. Another one, comb hair and comb the jungle. Now, combing hair, again, like the way we were brushing our hair, combing hair and combing jungle. You cannot comb the jungle, right? So combing jungle actually means that you are searching somebody, okay? So combing jungle is a figurative language. Some more example, diamonds are expensive and he is a rough diamond. Now, diamond, fine, we understand literal meanings, but can someone be a diamond also? When we say someone is a diamond, let's say, it means, someone is, let's say, rare in his attributes, someone is rare in his qualities and his capacities and his, skills, let's say, his qualifications, for example. Or someone is, fruitful, or someone is, so helping and, so kind and, so considerate. So you can call people diamond. If you call someone rough diamond, of course, someone is a rough diamond means, someone has skills, but they need polishing, for example. Then, boat sank and heart sank. Sinking of boat is literal language, But heart, sinking of heart, can heart also sink? Of course, bad feelings, the sinking feelings. When you are depressed, you are upset, you know, your heart sinks the way, you know, Titanic sank. So, heart, sometimes, you know, they do sink. Drop an idea. This is another interesting example. You can, when you say drop an idea, leaving an idea, the way you drop things, okay? So, leaving an idea. Glaring error. Glaring means, you know, obvious error. So, from the glare, you took the attributes and you know, gave it to errors, glaring errors, errors which are quite obvious. And I plowed my way through the mathematics problems. Mean, of course, you resolved your mathematics, you know, problems. Of course, we plow in the fields, actually. Farmers plow in the fields. So, this is how, you know, you do it. This is called literal and figurative language. Then we, at times, use similes also. This is, of course, very much part and parcel of figurative language. Similes means, you know, when you start comparing things, like as sharp as cute as bright as hard as. So, this as and as use is, you know, of course, simile factor, where, like, you know, you compare the whiteness of object A and compare the whiteness of something, and you compare these two to convey meanings. This is all about figurative and, you know, literal language. Literal language, please do not forget, is the language in which writer uses the basic meanings of words, and figurative language is where writers use some special meanings, and it's reader's job actually to understand the difference between literal and figurative. Let's, you know, move towards another aspect of words, collocations. What are collocations? Collocations are words which are in very natural associations. I mean that, let's say, water is one word, and if I talk about its behavior, of course, its behavior is water can be hot or cold. No, water's hot or water's cold. Hot and cold are the collocations of water. Now, if I want to say that something is very hot or something is very cold, so how to say? Of course, I can use a stress marker very, but no, there are some specialized collocations which as I said, collocations are words which normally go together. If you see, the definition of collocation means things which are put together side by side. So, words which naturally go, you know, with each other. As I said, hot water or cold water. If you want to add the stress marker, as I said, very hot water or very cold water, we have some specialized collocations. For example, let's say piping hot. Now, piping hot, piping is actually the collocation of hot, means very hot. Icy cold. Now, icy is the collocation of, you know, cold, and then cold is the collocation of water. So, icy, cold, water. That's the function of collocations. Some more collocations for your interest on the screen. Like cheap is a word, and if you want to say very cheap, you can say dirt cheap instead of saying it very cheap. No, dirt, as dirt is cheap, dirt cheap. Another example, deaf. And if you want to say he is, I mean, you want to add stress factor, very factor with it. If you say he's very deaf, does not make any sense. But if you say stone deaf, he's deaf the way stones are. Yes, stone deaf. Stone is the collocation of deaf. Then new. You want to say it's very new. So brand, you will add brand, and brand is a collocation of new, brand new. Then called dark, pitch, dark. Pitch is the collocation. And then comes mind, sharp, mind. Clear, crystal, clear. Thin, paper, thin. Thin as paper, paper, thin. So these are collocations actually. Cold, as I told you before, icy cold. Bottom is the rock bottom. One example, like, you know, arguments, for example. Argument is a word, and there are different collocations. Let's say you can, you know, make an argument. So making is an argument. You can, you know, endorse an argument. If you want to go with the argument, you can say, I endorse this argument. No, endorse is a collocation of argument. Or you can go the other way. Refute. No, refute will also be a collocation of argument. So endorse and refute are two collocations for argument. It's very, very important to understand and learn collocations of words because they increase your vocabulary and they make you very appropriate. There are dictionaries available in the market, which we call as Oxford Dictionary of Collocations. You can buy that and see, like, what are the natural associations of words. Our next item is denotation and connotation. Now, denotation and connotation means what? Denotations, again, like when I was comparing literal and figurative meanings, basic and special meanings, denotation and connotation also means that denotation means literal meanings, basic meanings from the dictionary. Connotation means, associations, means some words, they can have positive or negative associations, right? So they, of course, need to be, studied. I mean, writers, they have, when they choose words, they have to ask themselves the question that whether there is any negative, connotation or negative association of people of that very community, he's writing to or writing for, so he should avoid those words. Some examples of denotation and connotation for you. Like, for some people, the word pig might have connotations of dirty and smelly. Others will think of inquisitive or cheeky. Another interesting example, this owl, the bird owl. In this part of the world, we call, owl has negative connotation, bad connotation. We call owls means, people who are foolish, for example. But in Europe, it has a very positive connotation. Over there, owl is a symbol of sagacity, symbol of, wiseness and all. So, quite opposite in their, meanings. Some more examples I would like to share with you, that if you call someone lazy, lazy has a negative connotation, relaxed is a positive connotation, whereas the meanings are same. Lazy, negative, relaxed, positive, meanings are same. So, choose yourself which one is the better. Of course, the one which has positive connotation. And then, cowardly, its positive is prudent. Out of date is time tested. Nobody wants to be called as out of date. Yeah, if you call someone's talk as time tested, he would say, oh wow, yeah, that's a nice compliment. And some more, stiff-necked, dignified. Meanings are absolutely 1001 same, but their connotations are different. Look at the word stiff-necked, very negative connotation, stiff-necked. Sorry to say, as people also call it, piggy neck. The one who does not see left or right. He's so arrogant. Another very positive word of the same, conveying the same meanings is, prudent. Then comes, stubborn and persevering and miserly as thrifty. So this is what actually we call connotations and denotations. Dear students, today we talked about words, how words are structured, how words are formed, and how words are in relationship with other words, and how words are associated with respect to their meanings. I hope you liked today's discussion. See you next time. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.